So first we're going to get into a little bit of the background, right? Like this massive distillery started in the top of a pizza restaurant 9-10 years ago, right?
Correct.
Kind of take us back to the beginning and where kind of Hard Truth got the start from.
Sure. Yeah. So my partners were very successful in the brewing industry with Quaffon Brewing Company. They learned that they could sell their beer and have success through brew pubs. And then all of a sudden, their brew pubs started becoming
when
really,
you think about brew pub versus brewery, what's the like difference? Is a brew pub just serve food?
Yeah. So when I speak of brewery, I'm talking about the actual production facility. So it's really not a place where the public is welcome. But like, sometimes breweries have tasting rooms. Quaffon does not, but they're in Little Nashville. They opened up, now it's called the Original, which is the little first brew pub, and that's where they were selling their beer. And then they started with the smoked wings and the pulled pork nachos, and then that really captured a lot of people's hearts and minds. And so
and stomachs.
Yeah, for sure. So then they started growing that business, and they're thoroughbred entrepreneurs, my partners. So they love opportunity, they grow on opportunity, and so as that business was growing, Quaffon Brewing Company, the original tenant above the pizza restaurant, they moved to their production facility where they are now. So it left this infrastructure and some brew equipment up there. At that same time, the laws in Indiana changed, allowing for, it was called the Indiana Artisan Distiller's Permit, which allows a co-location of a distillery if you have a brewery or a winery in good standing. So they, again, jumped through those hoops, said, we're just going to kind of figure this out as we go. And that's when I started with the company. I worked with Cole Smith, who was the first guy up in the distillery and helped put it all together. And he and I got up there and kind of knocked out the original iterations of what Hard Truth Distilling Company was going to be. So to my partners' credit, they kind of let me loose with
and just like from the product side, right? It's like what Hard Truth is like what the product's gonna be. What's the liquid going in the glass? That's like what you guys were figuring out. What year is this?
So this would have been 2015.
2015. You're down there in Brown County, Nashville, just figuring it out.
Yeah, so it's an unusual story because really with the bourbon boom and everything that's going on with craft distilling, most upstart distilleries started with, a principal partner or somebody coming off from one of the big distillery operations and with a clear vision and a product, kind of like Angel's Envy, where Wes Henderson started out and he said, hey, this is what we're going to do. They got millions in investments. They built it. They did the thing,
Yeah.
Whereas
and coming from like, one of the big players, it's like you leave to go start your bourbon startup.
Yes. And so with us, it was more of a, we've got a track record of making good liquid, of, making good beer, offering a great customer experience at the brew pubs, great food. Let's see what we can do here.
Where do you begin to be like, this is what a bourbon brand and company, like, where does it start?
So I think that the synergies of my partners and all the people involved to kind of put the thought together on what the brand was going to look like, the ethos of the brand was a very collaborative effort. As far as the liquid, they really gave me the reins or I kind of raised my hand and said, hey, let me run with this. And for me personally, this was the culmination of a lot of things leading to this. So 10 years ago, if you'd asked me, was this possible, or would you be doing this? Absolutely not. But as I look back through the lens of time, and I talk about this a lot as I go around the country, there are a lot of things that led to this. My curiosity of science. I've always loved, first the time I learned about the scientific process and did, a science experiment in the 5th grade, I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. So I'm super scientifically curious. And then my love and passion for creating flavors through food. I'm an only child, only grandchild. My grandmother, I was her pal in the kitchen. And so she was deconstructing her dishes and letting me try little ingredients and building my palate. I've got this incredible, insatiable love and passion for creating flavors for food. And then when I saw everyone's very visceral and emotional reactions to my grandmother's food, it absolutely changed my brain. And so ever since that moment, I have always pleased my family and my friends around me with food. and then my love of science. And then I grew up in Evansville, so had a experience making wine and beer with family and friends growing up. And so really there's a lot of things that kind of came together to this moment. It's like where preparation meets opportunity, right?